I don't understand why AI triggers the left so much. Well, I guess I do understand, but it does, especially the people in mainstream science fiction. Now, I'm not triggered by it because, and I'll get into why, and I'll get into why they're so flipped out over it in here. But a recent article just came out talking just about how they're disgusted. They're realizing submissions were filling with AI slop, talking about Clarkesworld. And at the same time, like SFWA and the Science Fiction Poetry Association came out with these like weird unhinged rants about AI. And so I covered it on Fandom Pulse this morning because clearly these people are having problems that are much bigger than AI. And it's just funny to laugh at these people because the mainstream science fiction publishing establishment is so screwed up at this point that I don't think there's any recovering, whether they make statements about AI or not. It's just really silly. So please hit the like and subscribe button. We talk about all things science fiction and fantasy here. I'm the most trusted name in science fiction fandom, and I am a science fiction and fantasy writer. And I've got this great graphic novel, my friends, called The Emerald Array. I just put it on Fund My Comic, which is a free speech platform because Kickstarter just banned me because these guys don't like my reporting, is what it comes down to. The establishment is absolutely afraid. And you can see this did in one day over $6,000, and this is why they are afraid. Because they're not making that kind of money for most of their SFWA members or anything like that. The people in mainstream comics are not making this kind of money. We just came off of a $50,000 Kickstarter campaign. We got too successful. So they thought they'd try to hamper us. They thought they'd try to stop us, and can't stop the signal, Mal. That's what I got to say to you over there at Kickstarter. This is absolutely huge. We crushed it. Same amount of backing as we had on Kickstarter, so people are happy to go to an alternative platform and support great science fiction work. So if you are a Starship Troopers fan, if you're a Star Wars fan, Warhammer 40K fan, you're absolutely going to love this book. This is everything you've ever asked for. And guys, we really have something special here. So please grab it in the description below and support our science fiction efforts. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for the tremendous support and for supporting us through these bans. It's tough dealing with these people. And SFWA really was the first ones to ban me. They went nuts on me. The board of SFWA in a writers forum called Codex, which is like this writers forum that is for like semi-professionals. And that's where they coordinated and colluded to blacklist me from the industry back in 2018. And it's because I just obviously have more talent than a lot of their members, and I sell a lot better, and they didn't want that. They have a tightly gate-kept network, and Clarkesworld is one of those gatekeepers. This is a science fiction magazine. You can see Hugo Award-winning science fiction and fantasy magazine. And it's all about Kate Baker's on the SFWA board. Yes. And so you can see that it's just like these are people who are in with the establishment. Now, Clarkesworld is getting inundated over the last year with apparently AI submissions. And he says about half of his submissions are AI. That's pretty huge. So people are coming in and just like throwing together AI science fiction stories, throwing them in there, and it's clogging up their readerships. Now, I find this kind of funny because the submission quality they're probably getting is probably on par with the AI, and that's probably what's causing so much problems for them. This wouldn't be an issue and would not be out there if they like had any trouble differentiating between AI and not. If they could differentiate easily, it would not be a big deal. Now, he went and gave this magazine, a New York magazine, a interview, and said, "We've reached the point where we're on track to receive as many AI-generated submissions as legitimate ones." On top of this, he said that it's YouTubers' fault. This is pretty funny. People waving a bunch of money on YouTube or TikTok videos saying you can make money with ChatGTP doing this. Now, by the way, like, you're not going to make a lot of money in short science fiction. Clarkesworld is one of the better paying ones. But if you sell a 3,000-word short story to them, you're going to get $360. And maybe you could sell one or two of those a year, or maybe three. You're still making less than $1,000, and that's like not enough to actually get out there and like have a real professional career at this kind of thing. So there's no way that that could happen. But here's the thing about AI and what's really silly about it, and why all these leftists shriek all the time. You're taking jobs. is AI's main problem that it has is the quality isn't there. It's kind of shit tier. And that goes for ChatGPT and its writing capabilities, as well as like the image creators. You always have problems with it, like, 6 fingers or like some weird eyes that like don't match or things like that. And AI images just don't work for comic art. Like you can't consistently make anything at that point to where it could do that. So you can generate stuff for funsies, and I can generate stuff for my thumbnails. Maybe I'll generate a blue-haired weirdo for this, to signify these people. But at the end of the day, it's not going to work. And so that's pretty funny. But what I think is, because, I've had ChatGPT generate stories and I've looked at them and they were crap too. And they were clearly crap. And so I've had fun with it on my own. But these people clearly write just as badly or worse than them is what it comes to. If they're going to flip out that badly about it, clearly AI is a threat to them. And that's really, really funny because it's definitely not a threat to me. And that's why it's really, really entertaining. So they put out a statement on the SFWA page about this as this is going down at Clarkesworld. Comments on AI to the U.S. Copyright Office, the Legal Affairs Committee. Look at how important they make themselves sound, right? The SFWA Board and the SFWA Legal Affairs Committee sent the following letter to the U.S. Copyright Office regarding copyright law and policy using artificial intelligence. We are aware there's a wide range of opinion of subject within our community, but the issues of known damage to fiction marketplaces. Known damage to fiction marketplace. Is there really? Threats to original IP copyrights and these new AI tools pose must be made known to bureaucrats and lawmakers recommending making policy. By doing so, when consensus emerges about the proper use of generative AI in art, we can ensure that such AI is created and utilized in a way that respects the rights of creative workers. Oh, the workers. In the near future, we'll have the opportunity to read other letters submitted to this call for comments, and both SFWA and individuals, we will be able to review to them and respond. We invite all our members, especially those writers working in gaming and comics, to make known the effects you are seeing of artificial intelligence on your careers. I'm just having fun with it. It's making great thumbnails to me. And I'm having a really entertaining job. But as far as actual comic art goes, definitely can't put it in there. Now, I can generate some ideas for the artist to riff off of to come up with some things, but no AI art can do something as consistent as this beautiful work by Matt Fay, who's our interior artist on the Emerald Array. So that's what it comes down to. So we're making money, and we don't care because AI is not a threat to us, is what it comes down to. We just make better stories than AI will ever come out with. There you go. We will continue to study this issue, speak up where we feel we can do good. The more we learn from our membership, the more effective we will be. The SFWA board. Effective for what? I mean, what are they trying to do? It's really silly. They're not going to be able to do anything. They're not going to be able to stop ChatGPT. I mean, you're not going to be able to stop Grok. SFWA has no power, and so they're just making a letter to make themselves sound important because they don't actually do anything. And that's exactly what's going. I didn't even know there was a science fiction and fantasy poetry association. Like, I found out there was from this post. And they voted for a complete ban against using AI work in their publications and will treat such as ineligible for its awards. Oh, stunning and brave. And here's their vote. It must have been all 10 of them. But I mean, honestly, if AI work is winning the awards or even a threat, that just means your work is worse than the AI work, which is already bad. And that's why I find these organizations really, really funny. Because when they're virtue signaling this hard, they're really telling on themselves for their quality. The Horror Writers Association did the same. They got absolutely crazy. I guess the Horror Writers Association is okay with AI-assisted writing. It's okay with throwing artists under the bus after we joined with writers and being anti-AI for all creatives. And so out of the loop, read Darklit that they urged it to be handled behind the scenes. WTF are they good for before taking money for dues? And StokerCon, FAI. Oh, so stunning and brave right there. So you can see, again, this person does have a point. These writers' organizations aren't good for anything. They just do take money for dues, and they just create clout structures that actually are completely ineffective. If they came out against AI, it would be the exact same thing. They would have accomplished nothing, done nothing, and gosh, if this person is that bad that they can't write a horror story as good as AI, I'd suggest a different career at this point. Maybe you should learn to code. Are we allowed to say that anymore? I don't remember. But this is really funny stuff to me, just watching these people melt down over nothing, as usual. And that's the absolute state of science fiction and fantasy. They're failing in the mainstream because they're pushing woke agendas. They are not focusing on talent, not focusing on quality science fiction. And it shows. It absolutely shows that AI can beat them on every turn. Well, they can't beat us, and they can't stop the signal. Even though they ban us from their marketplaces, they blacklist us from their publishing. We are winning, my friends. And so check out the Emerald Array here. You can't stop the signal, SFWA. You can't stop the signal. Grab this today. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate you guys checking out our books. This is going to be the book for you. If you love Starship Troopers, go for it, my friends. Thank you so much. I'm doing my part. Are you doing your part?